Last night, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert didn't just trend, it exploded. What was supposed to be a standard sit-down with Senator JD Vance turned into a televised war zone, complete with walk-offs, personal jabs, and a live audience. Caught in the crossfire. Vance, the Ohio firebrand, Trump loyalist and 2024 VP pick, came in cocky, ready to pitch his rise from hillbilly elegy to political prominence. But Colbert wasn't handing out softballs. So, JD, Colbert opened, eyebrow raised, tone razor sharp. Are you here to sell Appalachia? Or just Trump's latest grift? The jab hit like a slap. The audience split. Some laughing, others wincing. Vance smirked, tension already thick in the air. I'm here for truth, Stephen, not your cheap shots. Then came the clips. Vance at rallies, railing against elites, praising Trump with preacher-level fervor. Quite a sermon, Colbert quipped, eyes twinkling. But is it grit? Or just a guy cashing in on the red state fantasy, Vance? Leaned in, voice steady but coiled. It's grit you'll never understand. I've lived it. You mock it from your cushy chair. The crowd stirred, divided. Cheers clashed with boos. Producers, watching from the wings, exchanged worried glances. The segment was veering off script and fast, but what set the internet ablaze wasn't just the sparring. It got personal. Vance didn't back down. You don't know my people, Stephen. You're just a coastal snob with a mic. Colbert grinned like a man who smelled blood. Snob? JD, I'm not the one cozying up to billionaires while talking blue-collar struggle. The dig landed, squarely at Vance's Trump ties and deep pocket, donors. Vance's jaw locked, his eyes narrowed. That's loyalty, Stephen, something you clearly don't get. You flip-flop for laughs. The audience cracked, some on their feet, others heckling. The energy in the studio was volatile. But Colbert wasn't done. Loyalty or leash, he said coldly. You went from rags to riches and landed right in Trump's lap. Boom, Vance sat up straighter, voice rising. Lapdog? I fight for the people you ignore. You're the one barking for corporate cash. The crowd erupted, some cheering, others jeering. Backstage, producers scrambled, whispers flying through headsets. It's slipping. It's slipping. But the real ignition point, Vance's defiance. He leaned forward, voice raw, face flushed. You mock my story, Stephen. I clawed out of nothing. You inherited that desk. Colbert didn't blink. Just smiled. Clawed out? He said, voice like ice. You didn't claw out of anything, JD. You clawed into power. JD Vance selling out those roots, he brags. About his words cut like a knife slicing through the studio, dividing the audience. Some chanted his name. JD, JD. While others erupted into laughter, phones lighting up with viral videos. Vance was seething, one post already racking up likes as the clash escalated, becoming more brutal, more personal by the second. The stakes were sky high. The studio pulsed with the raw energy of the moment. Sources say Vance's hands clenched. I'm not your punching bag, Stephen. I'll take you down. His voice was loud, shaky, a threat that hung in the air like smoke. Colbert pounced. Take me down? You're shaking, JD. Your Trump armor's cracking. He pointed at Vance's tense frame. The crowd went wild. Some rushed the stage's edge, others screamed, the producers frantic, signaling for a break. But Vance was done being cut off. I'm not done, Stephen. You don't cut me off. His voice boomed, swelling with fury. Insiders said the tension was so thick, you could cut it with a knife. The night was careening toward a breaking point, and the real explosion was just around the corner. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert hit fever pitch last night as Senator JD Vance, Trump's fierce ally, went head-to-head with Colbert in a confrontation that erupted into pure chaos. Colbert's relentless taunts pushed Vance to the edge, igniting a raging meltdown that turned the studio into a screaming match and the audience into a mob. The segment transformed into a wildfire, one no one could contain. Sources say Vance's vow to take Colbert down after the host mocked his ties to Trump only lit the fuse, and what followed was a full-blown shouting match that became the talk of the nation. Colbert, smirk unwavering, leaned in for the kill. Cracking, JD? Your hillbilly act's fading fast. You're just a Senate sellout now. He mocked him with a graphic of Vance and Trump, dollar signs swirling around them. The crowd reacted sharply, some laughed, others booed. Vance's eyes blazed. Sellout? I'm real, Stephen. You're a fake peddling lies for claps. His voice trembled with rage. The room cracked open. Cheers clashed with jeers. Producers looked frantic, hands waving in a desperate attempt to regain control. And then Colbert struck again. Real? You're Trump's puppet, JD, dancing for his cash. His jab was vicious and personal, and Vance snapped back, standing taller. Puppet? I'm my own man, Stephen. You're the puppet, jerking for corporate strings. Vance slammed his fists on the desk. The thud reverberated, the crowd erupting into chaos. Some cheered for Vance, others shouted, "Sit down," as phones started recording, and X-posts surged with speed. Vance was snapping. One post shot to viral status, spreading like wildfire. Colbert, still grinning, taunted him again. Own man. You're shaking, JD. Trump's got you wound tight. He pointed at Vance's trembling hands, the crowd igniting once more. What turned the chaos into madness wasn't just the words. It was Vance's breaking point. Insiders say Vance stood towering over the desk. You don't know me, Stephen. I've bled for my people. His voice cracked with emotion. You've bled for ratings. Colbert fired back, merciless. Bled? You're bleeding now, JD. Look at you. The crowd surged, some rushing the stage's edge, others screaming, Finish him, as Vance yelled. I'll finish you, you smug hack. The threat was wild, unhinged, the audience feeding the frenzy. Some tossed cups, others live-streamed the chaos, and the energy spiraled out of control. It was clear. The breaking point was here. Producers signaled for security, voices urgent in their headsets. He's losing it. But Vance kept going, his voice booming. You're nothing, Stephen. I'll tear this place down. Colbert, unmoved, cut him off. Tear it down? You're falling apart, JD. Get out. His command was sharp, final. The crowd roared, some chanting, Kick him out, while others pleaded, Let him stay. Vance, furious, ripped off his mic, hurling it at the desk. The crash echoed through the studio. Security rushed in, grabbing his arms as he thrashed, shouting, Let me go. I'll walk. The chaos reached its peak as Vance's meltdown went viral. Clips of the scene looping across social media, flooding the internet, igniting the fury of the moment. The kickout was seconds away, and the Late Show had just turned into a spectacle of pure pandemonium. JD Vance, Ohio's Trump-backed warrior, was forcibly ejected from the set after an explosive clash with Stephen Colbert that quickly spiraled into a shouting match, culminating in a dramatic exit. The studio erupted, the nation watched in shock, and the fallout was immediate and intense. Sources say that after Vance vowed to tear Colbert down, the host's final push ignited a chaotic ejection, turning late-night TV into history-making mayhem, with the incident already going viral. Vance's mic flew across the desk, crashing to the floor as security struggled to contain him. His voice, hoarse and furious, could be heard shouting, Let me go, I'll walk. As guards gripped his arms, pulling him toward the exit, Colbert stood tall, unshaken. You're done, JD. Hit the road. The command was icy, the crowd exploding into a frenzy. Some cheered, others booed, while a few shouted in support, Let him stay. Vance struggled, his words wild and fading as security dragged him off stage. The chaos unfolding live had the audience in an uproar, some leaping up with phones flashing, others pounding their seats and chanting, Trump's boy falls. The room was a storm of noise, with producers frozen in panic. One muttered, He's gone. The live feed captured Vance's figure vanishing as Colbert waved mockingly. There goes the hillbilly, folks. Show's over. The quip hit hard, drawing roars of laughter from the crowd. The chaos only grew, with debris tossed into the air, others live-streaming the madness. The energy was untamed, the aftermath already trending across social media. What made this moment seismic wasn't just the ejection, It was Vance's collapse. Sources report his defiance faltering as he shouted weakly, "I'll be back, you'll pay." But as security shoved him out, Colbert sat, grinning. "Pay? You paid tonight, JD," in sweat and shame. His parting shot was brutal, and the crowd's reaction split wide open, some cheering while others booed. The viral clips of Vance's exit exploded online, with hashtags like "Warren kicked off" and the Colbert owns him, quickly gaining traction. The chaos continued to unravel as Vance's team went dark backstage. Sources say Vance raged, claiming, "They'll regret this," his voice trembling with fury. The damage was done. His tough guy image shattered in real time, while Colbert basked in victory. "That's how you handle a senator," Colbert quipped as the crowd buzzed and producers cleared the set. The night went down in flames, with Vance's exit becoming a viral spectacle. Insiders say that while some saw the ratings surge as a win, others feared the backlash, noting that the chaos was too raw to spin. What followed was a whirlwind of social media reactions with millions of views on Vance's mic toss and walk-off, sparking debates across the internet. Vance's team tried to regain control, but the tide had shifted. His tweet, "Truth doesn't bend, I'll rise," garnered 150,000 likes but was overshadowed by the viral backlash. His image as the tough fighter was starting to crack wide open. Supporters rallied, calling him a warrior, while memes of his clenched fists and captions like "hillbilly heartbreak" flooded TikTok and Twitter. As Vance's gritty image faltered, Colbert's team emerged as the undisputed winner. Sources say Colbert's team is now celebrating the victory. The next episode of The Late Show opened with Colbert's trademark smirk. "We had a senator. He brought the heat. I brought the boot." His quip hit hard, smug and victorious, drawing a massive 55% ratings boost. Viewers were glued to the chaos, captivated by the spectacle, while insiders buzzed. Colbert, in true form, made it clear. "Vance thought he'd roll me, but I rolled him." His team, already strategizing their next bold moves, reveled in the win, while analysts agreed he crushed it, though some warned the risk was high. Vance, now more of a target than ever, had left the studio with a dented reputation. The victory didn't come without its edges as the crowd's roar echoed across the internet. Colbert rules trended, locking his place atop the late-night throne. Meanwhile, the online reaction split wide open, with Vance's supporters mourning his treatment. One tweet read, "They ambushed him, he's gold." Shares exploded, but critics were quick to strike back, calling him Trump's lapdog, another blow to his viral status. The internet was on fire, dissecting every moment of Vance's meltdown. Pundits weighed in. "Colbert baited him perfectly," one said, while another predicted it could bruise Vance's Senate ambitions. Trump camp chatter spiked, as Vance's rise appeared momentarily rocked. Sources say Vance is plotting his counterattack, with whispers of a rival strike in the works. His silence spoke volumes. This loss a sting that wouldn't fade easily. The ripple effects were seismic, shaking the late-night world. Experts say Colbert has redefined the game, rewriting the rules, or more accurately, breaking them. Networks are already weighing bolder guest choices or tighter control, aware that a misstep could send them into irrelevance. As for the viewers, the division was clear. Half cheered Colbert for taking down a senator, while the other half cringed at what they saw as going too far. This clash has etched itself into viral stone, Vance's fall and Colbert's rise forever linked. But this isn't over. It's just the spark. Vance's comeback is brewing and Colbert's next move is sure to blaze even brighter. So stay locked in. If you're hooked on this madness, smash that subscribe button now, because you won't want to miss the next fire. The fallout from Senator JD Vance's explosive ejection from The Late Show with Stephen Colbert has taken the internet by storm, leaving behind a trail of fiery debate and divided opinions. What began as a high-profile interview with Vance, the Trump-backed Ohio senator, quickly descended into a chaotic spectacle that captivated millions. Colbert's relentless jabs and Vance's equally fiery responses resulted in a full-blown verbal brawl that ended with Vance being forcibly kicked off the set, his mic crashing to the floor, and his image forever altered. As Colbert stood victorious, his smug quip, "We had a senator, he brought heat, I brought the boot," sent shockwaves across the late-night landscape, earning him record-breaking ratings and solidifying his position as the unchallenged king of the late-night arena. His show saw a dramatic 55% jump in viewership, with audiences hooked on the drama and eagerly awaiting what would happen next. Colbert, typically known for his biting humor, clearly relished the moment. Behind the scenes, insiders revealed that Colbert's team was already brainstorming their next bold move, knowing that the stakes had just been raised. However, the aftermath of the incident was not without risks. While Colbert's dominance in the moment was undeniable, the aggressive nature of the confrontation left many wondering if the line between entertainment and personal attack had been crossed. The online world was ablaze with reactions, with some praising Colbert for taking down a powerful political figure, while others criticized his tactics as overly harsh. Hashtags like #Colbert Rules trended, cementing his viral victory, but the internet was split in two. Supporters of Vance argued that the senator had been ambushed, while his critics saw it as a long overdue comeuppance. The real question was, had Colbert gone too far? Was this a justifiable clash of political ideologies or an exploitative moment for cheap thrills? As Vance retreated from the scene, his image was already taking a hit. The tough guy persona that had once defined him seemed to crack in real time. Insiders reported that he fumed backstage, vowing to get revenge, his voice trembling with rage. But in the court of public opinion, it was Colbert who stood triumphant, having not just outwitted a senator, but outmaneuvered the very system that had propped him up. Vance, meanwhile, has gone quiet. His tweet, "Truth doesn't bend, I'll rise," while gaining traction on social media, couldn't hide the fact that he had just lost a battle of public perception. His next moves are still uncertain, but sources suggest he's already plotting a counterattack, perhaps even considering running against Colbert's brand of humor in the future. For now, however, the damage to his image is done. The consequences of this chaotic confrontation are far-reaching. Late-night television will never be the same. Colbert's win may have rewritten the playbook, but it also raised the stakes for future confrontations. The entire late-night landscape is now bracing for what comes next, with pundits and viewers alike eagerly awaiting the next fiery showdown. And as for Vance, he may have been defeated in this round, but his silence speaks volumes. The question now is not just whether Colbert can keep this momentum going. It's whether Vance will rise from the ashes of this viral defeat, or whether this clash will define his legacy. One thing is for certain, this isn't the last we've heard of this battle. Stay tuned.